It's a different kind of thing. So there's got to be still, what has to be protected is the singular experience of experiencing a picture, ideally with an audience, But there's room for so many others now, and so many other ways, and there's going to be crossovers completely. The value, how do you say, the value of a film that's like a theme park film, for example, the Marvel type pictures, where the theaters become amusement parks. That's a different experience, and it's not even. I was saying earlier, it's not cinema; it's something else. Whether you go for that or not, but it is something else, and we shouldn't be invaded by it. And so that's a big issue. That's a big issue, and we need the theater owners to step up for that. You see, to allow theaters to show films that are narrative films. A narrative film could be one long take for 3 hours too.
Cinema, according to Martin Scorsese, is a storytelling medium which requires actors to carry the plot through their expression, dialogues, and their bodies. The actors are like canvas on whose shoulder narrative is carried out in cinema. But now, as in this technological age, we are seeing more and more films using VFX, special effects, and in many cases, animated characters to tell the stories. Closer home in Bollywood, though actors do not yet face the threat of extinction, but good actors now, more than ever, are not being given opportunity appropriate to their talent.
काम ही नहीं करना जहाँ बार झूठ बोलना पड़े.
So what does this tell us about Bollywood or film industry in general? Let's first talk about screen acting as a profession. German philosopher Walter Benjamin says that in his essay Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction, that art has lost its aura in the industrial age. What he means by that is that every artwork has a certain quality which exists in the moment when the artwork and its audience interact. The traditional art forms have that aura, he says, like mandala or ritual performances. He says that art retains that aura as long as it is not reproduced, at least not on a large scale. Another easier way to understand is to say that if you look outside your window and there is a rain, people taking cover, now this moment you are experiencing cannot be reproduced even if you capture with your camera. The effect, the feeling cannot be produced again. Similarly, he says for acting that when an actor is on stage in theatre, he is live in that moment. He has an aura, and that aura is not reproducible. It is temporary and it goes as soon as the actor leaves the stage. For screen actor though, he says that the final image of an actor that we see on screen is highly mediated by camera angles, editing and color correction. A screen actor acts primarily for the camera than for the audiences. Now, in theatre, an actor has to display the emotion live. He has to have real motivations on stage. There is no space for director to give him cue or tell him his dialogues. But in screen acting, if a director wants to have a certain look from his actor, he can simply give him a cue. And then the actor would simply have to react to that thing, and then that look will be captured by the camera. Benjamin says that therefore in screen acting, an actor loses that aura. But then, if actors lose that aura in cinema, how do they become so appealing to the masses? Well, the way to compensate for the loss of aura is with persona. This persona is built through many ways, like appearing in news channels, giving interviews, hosting your own coffee shows or chat shows, performing in award functions, scandals, gossips written about actors, extensive PR on social media, on newspapers, regular updates on Instagram, and so on and so forth. All this creates a persona for actor. So is it really surprising that actors are always in the limelight? The limelight is actually not the byproduct of their profession, but rather a necessary part of it. Since films are like commodities, just like anything else in the supermarket, and filmmakers have no shame in admitting to this fact, the films are primarily made for profit. It is only natural that they cast only those actors who have built a certain kind of persona, who are already there in the public imagination. And it also means that a producer can hire any actor of his choice because, hey, if excessive PR advertising is what it takes to get people to film theaters, why not take the actor of the friend's son or people you know closely? मेरे पैसे मेरी मर्जी. Thus, because of their excessive PR, these actors become the bankable stars for these producers. And who can build this persona? Clearly, those who can afford to spend extensively on publicity and who are well connected. An actor with little to no inheritance money doesn't stand a chance in this situation. Even the brand these actors select to endorse, or even the entire film sometimes, are nothing but extension of this persona. An actor who mostly does action films will endorse soft drinks in which the actor can be seen doing stunts. An actress going to play a role of a city girl will endorse a brand which mostly resonates with urban women. So it seems natural that if a producer is making an action film, he will think of an actor known for this kind of an image, or popular for this kind of an image, or rather someone who has cultivated this image. In a way, this persona building is opposite of acting. In acting, the audience are supposed to see the character and not the persona built by the actor. Sadly, for talented actors who miss out on good roles, it is not because of their talent, but it is rather the way film industry is, that it only takes those actors which can be fit into certain kind of role. It ignores those who can mold themselves into any kind of role. So, instead of saying that there is a flaw in the industry, maybe it is that this industry itself is structured that way that it weeds out good acting talent. Maybe because it doesn't need it. So, does that mean there is no space for real acting on screen? There are many screen actors who have repeatedly broken this created persona again and again in every film. Just look at Irfan Khan. You cannot find any similarity between the different characters he had portrayed on screen. In Namesake, he played the role of a Bengali man trying to keep his identity alive in the foreign land, while in Lunchbox, he was a government office clerk about to retire. In Pan Singh Tomar, he was a dacoit and a sportsman, and in Hasil, he was a college union leader. If at all any persona he created, it was only incidental. Scorsese's lament about the end of narrative in cinema comes from a place when cinema was not just for profit making. But in this day and age, films have become more and less about profit making, and it relies less and less on skills such as good acting and more on excessive PR and VFX. The human element is slowly going out of trend in cinema. So, is there a way out of this? We all get pretty choked up when the actors we adore suddenly disappear from our life. If life was a film, then the death of these actors is the perfect metaphor for the death of acting itself from the cinema. Films, after all, are not much different from the other vocations, where humans are nothing but a commodity which can be discarded when they have outlived their use. But can we do something? To bring any sort of change, first we need to bring a shift to our perspective. Maybe we need to watch better films, and not just the ones that arouse cheap emotions in us. We also need to educate ourselves a little bit about films, about art in general. Art should not be something which comes after we have had our basic needs fulfilled, because films, theatre, or any art for that matter are not just for entertainment. Art, as Benjamin says, in traditional society was not inseparable from life. We too need to embrace films, theatre, and arts because they can make us experience something sublime. They can disturb us, something that could shake us from our comfort zone, something that would stay with us long after we leave the seats.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah.